The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello guys, welcome to the session. Let's proceed with the quick recap. So right now the current situation is we have seen how we can actually work on export, how we can download, take a backup of our data, etc. We have seen this kind of information. Now next thing what we are going to do is we are going to proceed further in this data loader tool, and we'll try to use some further activities in that tool. And for that purpose, let me open the data loader. So same pattern, just click on this and type data loader, and then just open this data loader. It will open first of all the black color window. Let it be, don't close black color window, and side by side also it will open one more window, which is nothing but this window. And let's proceed for the same. So yesterday we saw export, and now we are going to proceed for understanding one related option called as export all. So let us see how we can actually work on this. Pay attention. So please note here, there is a famous interview question about export all, and for that let me tell you what is the answer. So let me explain you exactly how it works, and then I will tell you the interview question. Suppose you are, let me go to Salesforce environment and let me show you from there. So just give 1 second. Let me log into Salesforce. So what we will do now, we will first of all go to the Lightning experience, okay? And let me go to Lightning experience. And the object Parker pen, which we are using, referring. Okay, now see, in this case, what we are going to do, first of all, in this case, if we do export, and you know, export means nothing but downloading the data present on Salesforce cloud on your local system. That's called as export. So if you do export, then these records which are non-deleted records, non-deleted, those will be downloaded. But if you go for export all, then in this case deleted plus non-deleted, both type of records will be downloaded. Deleted means those records which are present in the recycle bin. By the way, recycle bin, the area, the way we have in our laptop, whatever we delete, it will go to the recycle bin. Similarly in Salesforce also, if I just type here in the 9 dot in this app launcher recycle bin, then please note this is the area where if we delete any record, then that record will be also downloaded in the form, in the process of export all. So right now there is nothing in the recycle bin, but please note, if we delete something, you want to download that also, then at that time we use export all option. So let me talk about this recent interview question and understand this. So first of all, what is export that we have seen? It's useful for taking the data, and please note that it is useful for backup, helps to ship data from one location to another location via file. We can also pull data from Salesforce and filter it in the offline mode in the CSV file. CSV and Excel, one and the same, almost same, it works. And also we can work on offline mode, offline meetings, where we don't want to refer any live connection to Salesforce, but we want to refer in the Excel format, CSV format, we can do that. And as I told you yesterday, even if client is not comfortable or not aware about CSV file format, it's okay. I ask them in Excel, ask them to provide Excel file format. It's totally fine, because Excel to CSV is a very simple thing. Even school kids can do that. Open Excel file, save as, and convert it to CSV. Or open CSV, save as, convert it to Excel. It's simple like that. And please note that the Dell interview question, which also you should understand, what kind of file data loader supports. So please note it supports only .csv file, and it looks like a Excel file, but it's not. So it looks like Excel, but in reality it's not Excel. It looks like Excel, and that's the CSV file format. And please note that is the only file format supported. Only file format supported by them. No other file format is supported. Okay, please note this point. Next, after this, let me tell you one more useful information. Pay attention. They will be also asking the question, what is the difference between export and export all? So please note, export will pull only the non-deleted records from Salesforce object, and export all will pull non-deleted plus deleted, both type of records, by the this and this, both type of records. Okay, please note this point. Next, now one more important question. Now this is something people rarely answer, by the way. So check this. People mostly don't answer this question. This is asked in Vodafone, Amazon, Facebook. When to use export all, when you use export all, and when you use export in your current project. Means they will be asking when to use export all, or let's say you tell me when you use export all in your project, etc., etc. They will be asking this kind of question. So now pay attention. I would like to give you first of all 5 to 10 seconds to try from your side which kind of companies, which kind of projects may need export all, which is a rarely used concept. But still, let me see your understanding, awareness about the market. Take 10 seconds and try to give the answer. After that, I will tell you some projects from Intellogic where we used this option, and your time starts now. You have only 10 seconds to answer, and tell me what is the answer. Okay, good try, not bad. Not bad. So please note, anyone, some answers were good, some answers were good, pretty much close. And let me also tell you that okay, not bad. Let me give the answer from my side. Some answers are wrong, but let me tell you when we use this option from Intellogic's project. You can use that information in your interviews also. So some Intellogic's project previous work in some banking financial projects where we need to keep an audit of everything, even cancelled or deleted things. For safer side, we need to download. So anyone who use the word audit, financial project, etc., you are absolutely correct. We download all those data, and even from recycle bin, and store somewhere. One more thing, also in some data sensitive projects, if by mistake anyone deletes the record and that is present in recycle bin, and then also export all practice help us to get that data back up, as after 15 days all the content will be removed. Now let me explain you this point. See, there are some kind of data sensitive projects where data is very critical. Data loss can make huge problem. Now someone even by mistake deleted any record and it is in the recycle bin. At that time, for safer side, we used to do export all on the in that project. So suppose anyone deleted a record on 1st January by mistake. At that time, after deleting the record at that time, please note, the person, let's say after 1 month realized that, oh, that record was by mistake deleted. I want that record. But now it's too late because Salesforce will keep the data in recycle bin for 15 days. Now it's too late. Data is gone. But when we keep on doing regularly export all, then even the data is gone, we have the backup, right, in our laptop, which came from recycle bin, and we can again load the data back. So this kind of activity is also useful for data sensitive project or banking financial projects, where in the past projects of Interlogic, we took the benefit of this. You can also say this answer in the interview. Now, one more question I would like to tell you from Samsung's interview question. In export all file, how you identify which records are deleted one and which are not deleted one? Now pay attention here. Let me give an example to you. First of all, I will do one thing in front of you. I will do export all. Just wait. I will do export all in front of you, and then you tell me how to identify deleted, non-deleted records. Export all, and now I'm going to log in. Today I will log in by first option, O authorization. Yesterday you understood second, today first, O authorization. In that I'm going to select, of course. Tell me, what should I select? What should I select? Correct, production, because I told you in this free org, Salesforce will not give us sandbox. For free, Salesforce will not give sandbox. You have to pay money for this. You have to pay money for this to get sandbox. It's not free. So click on production, login. And then we need to enter the username password. So let me enter username password. And I'm going to click on login. And just wait. Now it's asking that, Shekhar, shall I give the access to data loader, this tool? You want to give the access? It will access your basic information, access and manage your data, etc. Now this kind of access things you guys see hundreds of times every month while using, or while doing what? Exactly, while using any app in the mobile, or while downloading, or while logging to any Facebook account or something like that, or while logging to any other website through your Facebook account. It will tell you, right, that it will access your photo, it will access your friends list, it will access your email, right? Same concept here. And that is called as O authorization, where we use the credentials of one platform to log in into another platform. That concept is called as O authorization, which the entire world is using nowadays. So now let me proceed and click on allow. Yes, please proceed, allow the permission, and just wait. And look at this, login successful. So that's it, login happened. This time no token required. Click on next. And where you want to download the file, now I will give the file, or I will give the path of the same folder that we used yesterday, and I will mention here, let's say export all.csv, and save. Which table? Parker pen. Next. And after that, which kind of data you are looking to download, what you want, let's say all fields, no issues, and finish. And yes, okay. And you can see the records here also. Otherwise you can simply just now go for the file opening. Let me go in my folder where I downloaded this, and then after that let me show you that. So look at this. So we have two files. Look at this, we are having two files. Now I'm going to open export all, and by opening export all, I'm going to ask you a question, so pay attention. First of all, my question will be, by opening export all, how to identify or how to differentiate the records which are in the recycle bin and or records which are deleted or whatever you want to answer for this interview question. Okay, so please note, that these are the records in front of you. Now tell me the answer in 10 seconds. How you will answer, or what you will answer to the interviewer who is asking you. Tell me that which records are deleted or which are in the recycle bin. How can I identify which are not in the recycle bin? Because you know, right, in the export all types of record will be present. Mix, deleted, non-deleted, everything will be present. You know that, right? So tell me what we can do in this case. Only 5 seconds you are having apart from this. Excellent. So I'm reading the answers, and good to see that. Yes, guys, well done. So correct answer. Please note there is a column is deleted. Just check, there is a column called as is deleted. If in this column is deleted, the value is present called as true, then you need to understand that record is deleted and coming from the recycle bin. You are absolutely right. Correct. Right answer. Okay, fine. Next. Now, after this, let me proceed for the next activity. Please note the next activity we need to see is something like this. We need to now talk about export. After this, we need to go for insert scenario. So those who give the answer, well done. Keep it up. You guys are going good. Let's see how you will do in the next scenario, that is insert scenario. Now for this scenario, you should understand some best practices, some important things about the market, some standards. All these things you guys must know in this scenario. So pay attention and let me tell you how we are going to actually work in this case. Pay attention. For inserting any data in Salesforce, lots of discussions we'll do. But before that, it is actually the time to meet with the customer. And what customer is saying, let us see. Meeting started. Customer is saying, guys, look, actually, I want to know, have you done the backup? We said, yes, sir, we have done the backup. Client said, now what is next you're planning? We said, sir, actually, we are planning to load the data from whatever we will be getting from SAP and into Salesforce. So client is saying, so can you take a backup? Can you download the data from SAP? We are saying, sir, in this industry, we are working on Salesforce platform. We have zero knowledge about SAP, and we people never work on any other platform. This is SAP team's responsibility to give us data. And guys, why I'm telling you this? Because you need to also understand that taking data from SAP or .NET or Java or whatever, this is not our responsibility, and we will wait for them to give the data. We will not do any kind of activity on other platforms. So make it very clear, understand your roles and responsibilities, and keep yourself away from unwanted responsibilities. It is not for you to work on other platforms. All right, fine. So customer said, okay, I will inform my SAP team, and customer told SAP team, and SAP team finally gave us the data. Assume that SAP team gave us the data also. They gave the data. Okay, now we are having the data, so that will be, let's say, in Excel format. Is it a problem if, let's say, SAP team said, I don't know how to work on CSV, and they gave in the Excel format? Is it a problem? No problem. It's very simple, as I told you, right? Just open the Excel file, save as, and convert to CSV. It's very simple, no issues. Okay. But suppose SAP team said, I don't know, I cannot download in Excel format. Then it's going to be a problem. If they say, I can't download in Excel format, then it's a problem. Yeah, of course, it's a problem. If they can't download in Excel, then we cannot do anything. So simply tell, sir, I don't know anything about the other platform, other formats, and whatever format they have, please somehow give us the data in Excel. And guys, anyways, you will not have this situation, or you will not need to wait for this situation, because at least in my career, I have not seen any person who says, I don't know Excel, from the client side or from other platform. Even school going kids know Excel, and almost all the platforms in the world support Excel. So Excel data, definitely you will be getting without any problem, by the way. So understand this thing very clearly. Okay, fine. So customer said, okay, I will ask the team to provide the Excel data. We said, okay, no issues, and we will wait for that. and assume that now after this customer is providing us data, customer provided, and let's say for example assume that client provided data. Okay, client provided data from SAP team. Now client is saying when you will do this kind of data loading activity, and we are saying that we will do this in the weekend. Now why I'm telling this also, so please note, it's not compulsory to work on weekend, or for example on a specific time like this. We can do even in work days, weekdays, etc. But again, here we are learning, or we are not doing any kind of a typical school college type of training institute course. Here we are learning how we work in the market, how things work, how projects run in the market. So for safer side, we always do the work in the down, okay, you can say the downtime, when actually customers are not working, or in the evening time, or in the night time. For safer side, is it compulsory? No. Even if you work in the daytime, no issues. Customer is doing some important activity, and at that time you are loading the data, no problem, nothing will go wrong. But still, as I told you, my responsibility is to tell you what is the best and safer way, or what is the best practice you follow. You can also do something like this. Otherwise, you work on any time, no problem, it will work. Safer side, you should not work. Or you can say best practice, you should not work at that time, work in the evening or weekend, when you are going to work on such kind of heavy data. Okay, so let's say we decided we will do this in the weekend as a best practice. And now let me tell you one important thing, some prerequisites, some important thing for your job, what you should understand before you do loading of the data. Again, please note these kind of things, they will not ask you in the exam, or this kind of things they will not ask you in the interview. Then also, why we are learning? Because these are important for your career. Pay attention. Important things for your job, important prerequisite for real time project before insert task happens. Always get complete knowledge of all the columns, table, data which SAP team is sending. Remove the columns which are platform specific, means useful for SAP but not useful for Salesforce. When it is not useful for Salesforce, then why you're wasting your time by working on unwanted columns? Just delete that, simple. Focus on business data which we are using in Salesforce. Which field in SAP is useful for which business scenario in Salesforce? Understand that by speaking with SAP team. If client is not aware about CSV file, then at least ask them for Excel and convert Excel to CSV. Very simple. Open file menu, and then go for save as, and simple, done. Work on weekends, non-working time, especially on the production. Not mandatory but best practice, I told you already. And don't forget to ask them table by table, separate CSV Excel file. Don't ask them, or don't allow them to give everything in the mixed format. Tell them, give me separate Excels, separate columns. Otherwise, if anything goes wrong, then it will be your responsibility. Don't take unwanted headache, unnecessary headache. Simply say, sir, I need separate columns. Sorry, I need separate tables. I need separate CSV files. Don't make yourself things complicated in the office. All right, so let's assume we got a file from SAP team, but actually we are here learning, right? So we are not having any SAP team. So what we will do now, I will only create the file, we will only create a file, and assuming that we got this file from SAP, right? So let us see that also, assuming that we got some file from SAP team, and let's work on that. So I'll do one thing, I'll actually here, let's say SAP team gave us Excel file or CSV file. Let's say CSV file they give, no issues. So let me just do one thing, let me copy and paste this file here only, and let's say I will rename this file, let's say file from SAP. Okay, something like this. Okay, let's say we got this file from SAP people, and in that let me add some data. So let me show you, let's say for example we got some data, and understand how things work. Let's say there is a first column they give, let's say something like that, something like that, yes, something like something like that. Okay, then something like this, and something like this, and Ajay 100, Vijay 200 and something like this. Something like this. Okay, we got assume that this kind of data. Now, if we learn this concept by 2 records or 20,000 records, will it make any difference if I teach you how to load the data by 2 records or 20,000 records? Will it make any difference? No, absolutely not. Just it's a matter of pressing the button, insert button, and that's fine. Here, whether you learn by 2 or 20,000 doesn't matter. Okay, fine. Just wanted to ensure that we are on the same page to understand. It's all about pressing just a button, that is insert, nothing else. Otherwise, the numbers doesn't matter here. Okay, now this column is ready. You got this file. Assume that you got this file for the pen project. Now immediately, once you got all these columns, request for the meeting. Request them for having a meeting, SAP people, without asking them, without going into the details. Don't proceed for anything. In the projects of Interlogic, we especially have rounds and rounds of meetings. We ask the things in detail, we request for multiple meetings, and that happens. And you also do that, and try to do this in the initial level only. Once the initial meeting is done and you remain casually and you will say, okay, no issues, I will ask later sometimes or after a few weeks. At that time, please note, no one will be free for you, and at that time SAP team may not give you time. And now customer will say, now after 2 weeks also you are not able to complete the work, or still you're asking the questions, then when you will complete my work? So you will listen this kind of strong statements from customer. So that's why everything in the initial only, ask them, try to take multiple meetings, but do initially, don't postpone, don't do later. Okay, so we are having meeting with customer. We are saying, sir, we need SAP teams schedule at least 3-4 meetings we want. Customer said okay, otherwise sir we cannot do anything because it's very difficult to understand. Customer said okay, let's say the meeting started. Then in this case, what we need to do, we actually need to ask SAP team. So what is this column? Let's say SAP team is saying, guys, this column is about the ID, the identification value that we have for SAP data in the SAP system. Now guys, in this case, tell me, is it something useful for Salesforce? Shall I keep it? Shall we keep it? Absolutely not. Why we need SAP column? So just do one thing, you simply, without any hesitation, simply delete this. Delete, that's it. Useless data. Then we are asking, what is this? SAP team saying, guys, this is nothing but the name of the buyer who bought this pen in the business deal. That person's name is here. We need this data, guys. We need this data. We need, of course we need. All right, next, B, column B. What is this? SAP team, guys, this is the price of the pen. Guys, tell me, we need this data. Of course we need this. Okay, SAP team, what is this? This is the reference value which we use for the reference purpose of SAP table to another SAP table in the system when we have some referential information as per the SAP setup. Two table connection. We need this. Why we need SAP data reference in Salesforce? Why we need? Delete. Simply delete. And this way, guys, get away from the useless information as early as you can, so that you can make the things more properly. That will be my suggestion for your career. Get rid of useless data in that file. Okay, now remaining data I'm having like this. That's it, my data is ready. And now after this I can proceed and start working on the next step. So this is how we are going to do this work. One more thing I would like to tell you. Now, second thing I would like to tell you, to replace the columns with API name, which is the best practice. Why? That you will come to know shortly. Okay, wait, why? I will tell you shortly. But one more best practice, change the headers with the API name of that fields. Okay, no issues, let's do that. So what is the API name of this field? So without even telling, or without telling from my side, tell me what is the API name of this field. We saw in the demo itself. This column is represented by what in Salesforce? Customer name. What is the API name of that? Name. Very good. We saw in the demo, right? It's a standard field. and standard fields don't have any extension. Underscore C will not be there for the standard field. It will be just name. We saw that in the demo itself. And what about this? Yeah, this is custom field, customer name, sorry, price. So I'll do one thing. I will show you how I'm going to copy this. So I will go to Salesforce. Then I will go to this object definition page. And after going to object definition page, I will be scrolling down fields and relationship, and then from here copy this price, this API name. First I copied this, then I'm going to copy this API name, copy this API name, copy, and come to this and paste it here, or paste it here. Okay, that's it. So this is you have to do, but why, that I will tell you shortly, but we have to do this. Okay, it's a good practice. Fine, done. Next, now once you are done with this, column is replaced, then next step is to proceed and work on this data loading. Okay, so let me now show you how actually we are going to understand this. Just pay attention, and now I'm going to click on the insert button. My file is ready. Okay, so I'm going to click on insert button. My file is ready. Click on insert, select the table. Now click on the browse file to select that file where you have the data for insert. Okay, so click on browse and select the file where you are having data. So you know, right, we are having the file in the table called as file from Excel, sorry, SAP. Okay, we have that information. So let me proceed and select that file and do the needful file from SAP and open and click on next. It's saying it contains two records. Yes, right. Okay. Now Salesforce is saying that Shekhar, in your file there are two columns. That's okay, but I don't understand. I don't know in which there is a table called as pen in Salesforce, but which column data I should send in which field in Salesforce. This is the CSV file column, and this is Salesforce table. So which file from which column data I should send in which Salesforce table, I don't know. So in Salesforce, let me show you here. In Salesforce we are having table, fine, and now you are having in the CSV file two columns, but I don't know this data name should go in which field in Salesforce, and this data should go in which field in Salesforce, I don't know. So you need to tell me, because I don't know anything about Salesforce. This tool is saying, or I don't know anything about your business, you need to tell me where to do the mapping. Okay, so for that purpose, click on create or edit map, click on this, and here please note these all are fields of Salesforce, and please note that these are the columns of our CSV file. Okay, fields in Salesforce and column in CSV file. Let's map it. How can we map? Very simple. Click on that and drag and drop wherever you are going to do matching. Okay, so for the name we are having in Salesforce the related information called as name. Click, drag and drop. For price, we are having here in Salesforce the field called as price. Click, drag and drop, and that's it. This way we have to do matching. But guys, in this matching process there is a potential risk. And what is that? In this matching process there is a potential risk, and what is that? Correct, wrong mapping is possible. Just imagine right now we are working on two columns, so it's easy, but just assume we are working on 200 columns, and one small mistake done by the developer or person like you and me, it can make lots of issues. For that purpose, this approach should not be followed. Let me cancel this step and let me tell you what is the best approach to follow. Click on create or edit a map, and there is a button called as auto match, auto match, auto match. Press on the button, and within a second the matching is done. Whether you have 100 columns or whether you have 200 columns, within a second matching is done. But how it's happening? Because actually in the file we have given the headers of the file as API name. You remember the file headers we modified, and we have given here API name. So by this API name, the fields will be matched, and as per that, within a few seconds the matching will be done. No need to do any extra work for this. So just create the file one time, just create this file one time, and that's it. Every time you can use this file with the matching header. Save your time and always use this option, which is called as the auto match option. Very useful for the projects. Alright, so click on OK, click on next, click on finish. It's saying suppose Shekhar insert happens, then in this insert some problems can come, so that is called as success. And some records can have sorry, for some records the problem can come, so that is called as failure records. And for some records there will be no problem, so those are called as success records. So Shekhar, I want to tell you for which records the failure happened, for which records success happened. So where should I save this information? And guys, for that purpose you can select here a folder. Again, on your system we can do one thing. I will select the same folder which we are using right now on the desktop. On the desktop we are using this folder. So in that folder I'm going to save all this information and click on finish. Yes, and it's telling me that Shekhar 2 records successful and 0 errors. Okay, fine. Now I can check what happened by going to that folder. I will be getting two types of files now. Pay attention, look at this. Let me delete whatever unwanted information is here. Export all I don't want. Download from backup also I don't want. These are the old files. Delete this, and let me delete this file, and so see, I'm having three types of files. One that I just loaded, okay, and this is success file, and this is failure file, error file, which will tell me what went wrong or what went good. Okay, so if I show you the error file right now, there will be nothing, because there is nothing went wrong. So you can see in the last column, or in the last column they will mention errors, but nothing went wrong, so it's all good. They will tell the reason of the error. It's very useful option. And second is in the success, you will be getting the record. So if I open the success file, then please note, in the success file these are the information. You can see the last column, item created, etc, etc. So you can see all the information present here. Item created is given. Okay, one more column extra came here, and what is that? We got one more extra column. What is that? Yes, we got a new column called as ID. We got a new data that is called as ID. And please note, it's because whenever we insert any record in Salesforce, at that time we get ID for that record compulsory. Whenever any school kid takes admission in the school, he will get the roll number. Whenever any employee like you and me joins any company, on the first day itself we get employee ID, right? Similarly, as soon as we add any record in Salesforce, we get the record ID compulsory for this record, and this record ID will be decided by Salesforce, given by Salesforce. Your employee ID, I don't think so we can decide, right? Have you ever seen my employee ID is my favorite number 44, so I will be going with this employee ID. Will you tell this to CEO? No, they will decide. It is managed by companies. Same way in Salesforce also, this ID is managed by Salesforce. And now after this, let me proceed and let me tell you now one more important thing. Now for you, some additional best practice I would like to tell you while working in the real-time project for this data loader. Again, not important for interview, not important for exam, very important for your job. Let me tell you some best practices that we follow in our job. Prepare separate files for separate tables, objects, assuming that we will get multiple table data. So prepare separate columns. Assume we are having 100 tables. Fine, create 100 files. If some tables are related with each other, then plan the things as per primary secondary object sequence. That you will come to know something later in future. That's something we will try to understand later. So don't worry about this. Next, please note data loader won't check anything like duplicate data, mandatory data, non-matching data, check data type, etc. It will not do, it will not find out the duplicate data. So this is your responsibility and to see whether information is correct or not. That's why don't take any shortcuts. Data loader, if any duplicate data is there, it will not tell you that this is duplicate data, or data loader will not tell you that in the field of age this guy provided for example let's say for example textual data instead of number 10 he provided ten 10. It will not tell you. This is your responsibility because this is the drawback of data loader. It will not do all these kind of things. So by using our own Excel knowledge, we have to identify, we have to check all these things. Use sampling techniques for verification of data coming from SAP. Sampling technique means whenever you get the data from SAP, so check some random 10 20 30 40 records to see whether data is coming properly or not, whether any duplicate data, or maybe just check instead of text they are giving number or number to text, etc., etc. Check this. That's called as sampling technique. Also, Excel skills are very helpful for your work for this data easily, to check data easily, because by Excel option you can see if any cell is empty, or you can also see filters, you can also see data validation. Have you ever seen this kind of or used this kind of option? In Excel we can see filter, or we can find out duplicate. Have you seen that? There are so many options in Excel. So please note that while working on the data loader, if you have some good knowledge of Excel, that will be very useful. So please note this point. If you get time, chance, you can Google and search how to do filtering in Excel, how to find out duplicate data in Excel. All these things you can do, because in data loader there is no ready-made solution for this. You should spend few minutes of extra time to learn this in Excel. Just few minutes required. That's it. If any column header is in CSV file is not matching with the API name, then you can ensure to rename the column header, means make it same like API name. And why? We have seen the quick mapping, we have done that by the way. So we have just seen the quick mapping, it's done because of quick mapping. Next, once your file is ready having API name as column header, then use the same file always, just by removing data next time. So see, for example, now next time I got the another data load from SAP. At that time, now I don't need to again just create this all headers and etc. I can simply do one thing: open that SAP file, whatever I got, copy the columns, paste it here, copy new columns, paste it here, so I can keep these headers same to save my time. Again, next file, okay, copy the first column, paste it here, copy second column, paste it here, or you can even copy all the things and paste in one go, or depending on the situation, this way also you can save your time. It depends what kind of format they're following or how they're giving the data. If there are so many columns, then you can just copy paste the API name. If there are limited columns, you can keep the API name as it is. Ultimately, you just save your time depending on the situation. That is what my purpose or the intention behind telling all these things, because we have limited time always in the office, in the projects. API name means what? Application programming interface. And API name is the internal name we use for Salesforce entity that we have seen already in the demo. We saw in demo, I told you what is the meaning of API name. Next, always delete the files which are not required now. You saw before, sometimes I deleted export file. I have seen many juniors in my current company, previous company, they don't delete the unwanted records, and they maintain sorry, not unwanted record but unwanted files. They keep on maintaining files, lots of files, and ultimately it becomes so much confusing that they sometimes by mistake select wrong file and the complete mess happen. So instead of going to home at 6 o'clock, they go to 8 o'clock, they go to 9 o'clock, and they say, I'm having lots of workload. What workload? You're doing mistakes and you're saying there is a workload in the office. So please note this kind of examples you will find commonly in the market. You don't become that kind of person. Do quality work, do accurate work, and that's it. Delete those columns which is given by SAP team, which is not important. That we also saw. We deleted SAP reference column and SAP ID, right? Whatever you don't need, delete this. So keep in your mind all these best practices. And now it's time to go for one more activity, and that is nothing but understanding update. Very simple, nothing difficult, very simple. You tell me why we need to use update, by the way. Why we need update column in Salesforce? Why we need update? Correct. Whenever we want to make mass corrections, whenever we want to make the corrections of data is okay, good answer. But for corrections of data, I can manually do this, right? So your answer is complete when you say mass correction. Hundred, thousands, millions of records you want to correct. At that time we use data loader update functionality. Okay, now you tell me one thing which was asked in the Vodafone. The question, which is the column field on which is the column or field on which update activity is completely relying? Any guess? You keep anything, you keep any other columns or you don't keep, doesn't matter, but this column should be compulsory present while you are doing update operation. So can you answer this? It's just a common sense based question. No need of Salesforce knowledge. ID, correct. Record ID. Because how you will identify which column to modify? If I tell you, or let's say if CEO say that give that guy 20% increment, he did a good job in Salesforce project, give him 20%. HR will say which guy? CEO says that guy. Yeah, but which guy? Tell me the employee ID, right? Then I can give 20% increment. So this way, here Salesforce also will ask you which record you want to modify. Tell me the ID. Then only I can do this activity. Also, other columns are not useful. If I, for example, say the ID like first name, that's also not useful because there can be so many people in the company with the first name, same first name. If CEO said give Ajay 20% increment, which Ajay? There is Ajay in finance department, there is Ajay in Salesforce department, there is Ajay in marketing department. Which Ajay? So like this, we need identification value, unique value, and your answer is correct. Record ID is the answer. Now, one more thing, I have a question for you. If record ID is so much important, then why in the insert operation we did not use record ID? If you are giving so much importance to me about record ID, then why we did not use record ID column in the insert operation, which we did before 10-15 minutes? Exactly, Salesforce will create that. We are not supposed to create that. You are correct. Good job. Good going. So guys, I will tell you one small example of update to let you know how we used update in the past. It's simple topic, simple point, but to give you example of one of our ex-client, to give you some business understanding, let me tell you, we work for one UK client, the shopping or a kind of a e-commerce company of UK. They are having shopping malls also, and they're having e-commerce business also. So for them, we have given services in the past on their Salesforce platform. So you remember before a few years, the new taxation system started in India, and that taxation system is what? Before few years it started, yes, correct, GST. So at that time, for that client, for their business data in Salesforce, which was present in hundreds or thousands of records were present for them for the India region. So as soon as this happened, GST rule started. Then we took the benefit of update, and we modified the records in that table. We first of all did step number one. We downloaded that records of India, only India region. How it's possible? How can I download out of millions of records only India region data? Yeah, by filtering. Very good. We downloaded that region, India region data. Second, we opened that file. Then we modified the values wherever we wanted to modify, and for that we used Excel formulas also depending on the situation. Do you know Excel formula? Do you know Excel formula? Yes, in Excel there are so many formulas. You can use that, and please note that just Google search and see Excel formula, and then you will realize how powerful Excel is. Excel is very, very powerful. The way we understand Excel is just for data entry. No, it's a very powerful software. Just whenever you get the free time, Google search Excel formulas. You will get surprised how powerful Excel is. So we use some Excel formula, GST, etc., etc., and finally, and all the, if you see the work of CA, chartered accountants, they do all these operations of Excel. They are the most powerful users of Excel, I will say. They have lots of formulas, and they do all these calculations of tax and all on Excel itself. No software required for them. So we did this kind of calculation. Then third step, we updated the data into Salesforce by using update command. Simple, that's it. Okay, so this is one example from our X project, and this way you can easily modify the record. I will give a small example to you because update is a very simple topic, and let me show you just a kind of example by modifying the values of pen price. Let's say, for example, I'm changing the pen price, for example. Okay, so at that time, let me show you what we can do. Let's, for example, assume I will do one thing. Let's say I will copy this data, for example, copy paste, and let's say we got this file. Or I will do one thing. I will show you complete process, for example, from the export. Okay, so let's say I'm going to export some data and I want to make some changes. Let's say export from pen. I want to download the data, and what kind of data you want to download. So let me give the name. Let's say high costing pen, for example, .csv. Save. Next, filter. Let's say I want only those pen records where price is greater than maybe 100, something like that. Add condition and finish. Yes, so 60 records I got. Okay, that is too much. Anyways, fine, whatever, no problem. We will reduce the count, and 60 records I got. Now let me open that file. So now, as a best practice, now I will remove unwanted columns, sorry, unwanted files first of all. So I don't need this, delete this. I don't need this, delete this, and open this high costing pen. In that also, I don't need so many columns, so I will just do one thing. I will just delete whatever I don't want, and I will just remove this all unwanted column to show you the example which is important for you, not unwanted columns. So let me delete this and let me delete this. In that also, I don't need to show you so many records. Let me delete all these records. I don't need to show you the modifications and all this. Delete, and let's say 3 records are fine. Okay, so look at this. Let's say we are having these 3 records, and this three record data we need to modify. Okay, so John, Larry, Shekhar. So let's say I'm going to modify here. Let's say 100 and 200. Let's say some kind of values modified as per the taxation, or we are actually increasing the value, etc., etc. And also to show you that how every column is getting how it is a modified record. Let's say I will mention John updated. I will mention here intentionally to show you these are modified records. John, Larry updated, and Shekhar updated, to just show you that how get record getting updated. Okay, so this way my file is ready, and I want to use this modified data. I want to upload into the Salesforce. In this case, this column is very important because everything is going to happen because of ID. The identification will happen as per the ID. So now let me do one thing. Let me now load the data, means update the data. How can I update? Let us see. For that purpose, I will click on update. Salesforce is asking me which column you want, which table you want to update. Pen. Okay, where is that file? So click on the browse and say this is my file, high costing pen, modified data. Okay, click, double click. Next, 3 records are there. Yes, okay, and you can go for auto match. You can go for auto match. Okay, that also you can do. Let me give you small extra information. Just assume for 2 minutes. Just assume for 2 minutes. I want to match for 2 minutes, assume, let me cancel this mapping, and for 2 minutes assume that her ID, okay, I will go for this, or for name, for example, I will go for this, all the fields which are present. Let's say, for example, ID, record ID, drag and drop. Okay. For price, okay, price, drag and drop. Okay, I did this, price, drag and drop. But assume that, for example, here, let's for 2 minutes assume instead of this name, I want to match with this some other column. I want to match with this some other column. Or for example, instead of this ID, record ID, for example, for 2 minutes, I want to match with owner ID. For 2 minutes, I have this kind of requirement mapping. Okay. Now in this, tell me, if I want to do this kind of mapping where API name is not matching, then can this button help me auto match? Can this button help me auto match? No, it will not help because spelling is not matching, right? Okay. Now, in some cases in the real-time project, we need this kind of requirements also where API name is not matching. At that time, I will give you one solution. What to do? Suppose, for example, we have this kind of columns where API name is not matching, or assume that we did not get the chance to match the API name, or maybe the situation is we did not get the time to match the API name and we are loading this data. Or those scenarios where we are using some extra columns which is provided by our own calculations, and that is not having any matching API name in Salesforce, something like this. Okay, so do one thing. Only one time you do this mapping, whatever this non-matching, non-spelling matching mapping, do only one time, and then press on the button save mapping. So only one time you have to take the efforts of manually mapping this, and click on save mapping first of all. So let me show you what will happen. So now it will ask you, you save this mapping. So I will save mapping for record ID, something like this. Okay, and click on save. That's it. Do this only one time. Now next time what will happen, after 1 month or tomorrow itself, you come to the office and again you have to do the same thing today also. Now click on create or edit map, and instead of again doing this drag and drop and this owner ID, instead of that I'm going to use record ID, etc, etc. Instead of wasting time like this, simple thing you can do is next day come to the office, click on choose existing map and press on the choose existing map, and then after that it will be showing you that mapping file which is having extension SDL. Double click and that's it. Automatically you can see the mapping, owner ID, record ID. So that non-spelling matching mapping, whatever you are doing, that will work like this. So I did this for one field. Just imagine such 30 fields are there where you are doing this kind of non-spelling matching mapping. You can imagine how much time you are going to save every day in your project. So use this technique only when required, only when the spellings are not matching. Otherwise, if it is matching the spelling, then no need to work on this activity. Okay, fine. So let me do update. Which table? Pen. Oh, let me see how much time we have taken. It is okay. We are having 2 minutes. Fine, let me complete this. So you can do some assignment on this. So pen and browse and select the file and next and okay, and create a red map and auto match and okay and next, and it's asking where to save success and failure. Fine, same path, finish, yes. It's saying 3 success, 0 errors, no problem, and let me click on OK. And now let me do one thing. Let me now go to that folder. Let me go to that folder where this file is present and look at this. Okay, so I got now success file and I got error file. So now I will show you how this success file is actually going to give me success. Look at this. If I open the success file, you can see the last column. Look at the last column. Look at this, items updated. Okay, items updated. Now I will show you how it is modified. Let me go to Salesforce and let me show you. Let's take an example of any record. Let me go to Salesforce and let me show you how data is modified. Refresh the data. refresh the data and see what's going to happen. So you can see now here, for example, I will show you any random record. Maybe let's say John updated. Okay, John updated, price we made 100, the new price is 100. Okay, new price is 100. So I'm going to open the John updated record. See now here, I'm going to open John updated record, this one, John updated. And if I open this record, so you can see the price is given as 100. Okay, so it's working, and this way we can update large data, mass data. Okay, fine guys. So now do one thing, I will be giving you some work. Now we are done with our time. It's 1 hour 1 minute we have taken, so it's time to close the session. But please note, first of all, do one thing. Whatever questions, queries you are having from today's session, mail me, WhatsApp me without keeping them pending. Second, I will be giving you some work on insert and update. Work on that activity, and then we'll see tomorrow some additional things like upsert and etc, etc. So anything, any question, anything you want to say, mail me or WhatsApp me, and I'm going to close the session. And also please note that in upcoming days, if we get the limited time for questions and answer, because we have the plan to learn lots of content in limited time, then we will be planning one session on weekend for questions and answers. So you can ask in the weekend also, or you can ask today in email, WhatsApp also. Okay, let's meet tomorrow. I'm signing out.